are wishing to know more about fishing, you don't need a book. Just come and see the Hook and the Ccok. If you are looking to know more about cooking, you know where to look. Just come and see the Hook and the Ccok. Scotty will hook 'em, and Paul he will cook 'em.
They like to travel and learn new stuff.
Come and see the Hook and the Ccok.
Today, Scotty and I are heading out to the Goulburn Valley Fly Fishing Centre. It is located less than 2 hours' drive from the Melbourne CBD and is situated on the Goulburn and Rubicon rivers in the town of Thornton. I've never been fly fishing before and I can't wait to have a crack at it. Good thing we're getting some instruction from Dave, who's an old pro.
Hi guys.
Paul, how are you, mate?
David.
David, Scotty, how you
Scotty,
going?
how are you, Scotty?
Good, yeah.
Come on through.
All right, mate.
Come on.
No worries.
And here we are. Fish everywhere.
Pretty special.
Yeah, yeah.
Every fish
we're,
has dream.
we're pretty lucky.
So what have you got in here? We've got some rainbows and browns, is there in the...
Yeah, nearly all rainbows in here. Yeah.
Okay.
About 2 to 3 pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're good size.
Yeah, very good size.
So this time of the year, what sort of flies do you think we'll be using?
Well, on the river we'll be using mayflies and caddis. We won't be using beetles and ants just yet. They're a bit early.
Yeah, so
It's
like
not warm enough yet.
a wet fly you're talking
No,
about?
no, dry flies and wet flies this time of year.
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
no problem.
So again, sorry, like the dry fly floats on the top
Dry fly floats on the
and
top.
the wet fly sinks
down
Ah,
to
right, okay.
whatever depth you want. But
How
yeah,
do you know when it's sunk down? How do you know if it's taken? Do you get a bite like a normal?
You'll feel him grab you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't have like a float or anything
No,
like that?
no. You can feel it. The rods are very sensitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as he touches it, you'll feel that.
I think you sort of understand that I've never done this before.
Yeah,
The way I'm talking, I haven't got a clue.
you'll be right. I've got some rods over here. You have to have a look at those now and work
Yeah,
out which
yeah.
end is
Which end is which.
which end's the good end. It's a big, long, very soft stick,
Yep.
and
I do know what a rod is. It's sort
yeah,
of-
no, it's probably a lot softer than what you're used to. See, that's the line though, isn't that? That's thick and sort of very stand out, but down here it's very thin and very fine so that it doesn't frighten the fish. This coloured line is to get it out there for you.
Get it out there.
Once you know
Yep,
how
yep,
to
yep.
hold the rod and cast the rod.
Okay.
So you start by learning how to cast.
Dave brings us round to the training pond and runs us through some casting basics.
Okay, well, learning to fly fish is learning 3 basic parts of the cast. One's called the pickup cast, which is simply picking it up off the water and getting into the air. And then the other cast is called a false cast, where you're falsely casting backwards and forwards, either measuring distance to the fish or changing direction slightly. And then the one where you drop it onto the water to catch the fish is called the presentation cast. It takes a little while to get those all coordinated and working together, but once you've got it for life.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one other little cast that we use to tidy up line, and that's called a roll cast. If the line's all messy on the water, if you tried to pick it up, you would be in very bad shape.
Yep.
So rather than do that, we just lift the rod up and then we push the rod forward sharply, and it straightens the line out enough so that when we do pick up our pickup cast, it works. We go into our false cast and then we have a presentation cast to finish. So you just got to practice those things.
You're actually going to put a hook on the end of mine.
Yeah, we'll put a hook on and then the fish will really start to quiver in
with
fear
fear.
because they know you're going to be around then.
Righto, we have a bit of a practice, eh?
I can see why people get hooked on it. It's quite tricky, but it's fun. Great fun.
Oh, you're a bit quick on him. Oh, he's on. Oh, no trout. Doesn't count this one.
Yeah, it's a redfin.
Yeah, nice fish.
Beautiful looking
Yeah,
fish, aren't they?
yeah, they got terrific colour. Watch your spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're better than a trout to eat by far.
Now, you said something about the spikes when I was bringing it in.
Oh yeah, they got these on the top.
Yep.
They all hurt, and
Yep.
he's got a couple of bit of on the top end of his gill there's another one. It's a bit softer,
Yeah.
but these ones hurt if they get into you.
We'll put him back in the water, eh?
Just drop him back in, yeah. Gone like a ballistic missile.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, catch a trout now.
Now a trout.
Hey! Let him run a bit. Let him run a bit.
Ball's on.
Don't get any more line in, but just lift his head every now and again to get him to gulp air. And that really tires them out. It's a very nice rainbow trout.
I'm absolutely over the moon. Thank you very much, Mr. David. Over the moon.
That's it. There you got him. Look at that.
What a beautiful trout. Hey? Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. Let's get him back in.
You did it.
Yeah. An hour's tuition, mate. You got me onto one. How good is that?
How great is this location? We're less than 50 metres from the cabin. I'm getting some skills on my fly rod that I haven't used for a few years. Paul's down there getting some great tuition from Dave. He's already caught a nice trout. I've nailed 2 redfin. Does it get any better than this? I don't think so.
It's been an incredible afternoon learning from Dave, and I can't wait to go drift boating tomorrow morning. After some great tuition from Dave and a few hours of practice, Scotty and I are ready for our first drift boat on the Goulburn River. Drifting with the river means that we're able to access all the banks and fish literally hundreds of spots. I hope my newly acquired skills hold up on the water. After Dave instructs us on some boat safety, we pop on our life jackets and head off for a fish.
Other than trout in the river here, what other species we might catch?
We've got redfin in this river. Blackfish, it's a native nocturnal fish.
Right, yep.
Doesn't get fished for that much. There's carp. Not as many up here because the water comes out of the bottom of the lake, so it's always about 12 degrees and cold.
Yep.
And the carp seem to prefer warmer water.
How's the Serenity, Paul? Bonnie Doon's just up the road. We're going to Bonnie Doon.
Everybody pretty much catch and release with us. Yeah, we encourage it because it's a finite resource. There's not millions of fish in the rivers, so if they deplete the river too much, then what are they going to fish for in the future?
I'll tell you what, Dave, we've been working hard this morning, but we've got ourselves a nice little rainbow here.
Yeah, happy to take a wet fly.
Yeah, it took a wet fly. We fished the dry for quite a while.
But it's a good little pattern for the bait fish.
Oh, jeez, and there he goes.
There he goes.
He's out.
That's a quick release.
Oh, well. He's only a little one. He's destined to go back.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
A rainbow again?
Yeah. Look at the colour.
Pretty nice fish.
What a beautiful
He's got that fly.
fish.
He's got that fly well and truly down his mouth. So just keep him in the water like that and I'll get a pair of forceps. Get him off easier. In the water for a sec.
There you go. Beautiful. First little wild rainbow trout. Fantastic. Pop him back, eh? Pop him back in the net.
As I see, he swims all right. Yeah. fisher is sitting up like that, and he's telling us he's happy. There he goes,
Wow.
straight to the bottom.
Well,
You've done it.
I'm hooked.
Learned to cast yesterday, caught a nice fish today.
Yeah, that was unreal. Thanks very much.
Fantastic.
We continue fishing down the river and try and catch a few more, but it's just not happening. I think I've still got a lot to learn.
Well, it's been an absolutely beautiful morning on the Goulburn River. We've caught a few nice small trout. It's been a little tough, but just talk us through some of the flies we've been using, Dave.
Well, we've tried a few methods because the fish weren't that active. So we've done a bit of nymph fishing under an indicator, and you know the nymphs are.
Yeah, those little fellas. That's these little fellas that got swimming around the bucket, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're representing those with a nymph that's really tiny.
Tiny,
but,
yep.
You know,
What size
it
hook's
matches
that one?
up. That's about a 14 hook,
Right, okay. Yep.
and they're just dark brown. They match up. That method today hasn't caught us a fish. What has caught us the fish today are wet flies,
Oh, okay.
subsurface,
Yeah, what does this guy represent?
it's representing a small bait fish swimming in the river,
Okay.
and it's aggressively made to sort of flash and flare as it goes through the water, and it makes the fish charge and attack it. So
Okay.
it's a
So what makes you think we should use a wet fly or maybe a dry fly?
well, it's activity on the river. If you're drifting down the river and you're not seeing terribly much on the surface,
Yeah.
you're saying, well, the fish are staying down. There's nothing encouraging them to rise, so a wet fly is a better option. Something that gets in their zone. And that's what we've been trying to do through the day.
So if we're not seeing them on the surface, obviously they're head down, they're nudging around in the rocks. looking
Yeah,
for
or
food
sitting
small-
mid-water cruising, just waiting for something to come
small
along.
bait fish.
And the bait fish goes past his nose. It's a territorial response action, a feed action. So he chases it and grabs it. You could grab him.
Coming up after the break, we try a hand at some land-based fishing. After a fantastic day of drift boating yesterday, we're going to try our luck fishing the banks of the river. We put our waders on and look for a good spot to start. But before we get into it, Dave gives us some useful feedback on our casting technique.
Paul, for first day out, getting a fish, that's fantastic. We have days out where people don't get a fish first day. It's not that easy when you first start fly fishing, getting that presentation out there.
It's not easy, that's all.
And you know, he's got another bit of a quantum learn again today, so he'll get a little bit better again today.
Presentation I found right at the end there, especially on that last hour of the day when they're all coming up smashing. I was getting probably a bit too excited.
You get excited, and then with that excitement, the timing goes off, and it's all about timing that action, no matter what excitement's going on. That's a hard discipline for anybody to pick up on first go.
I reckon we should go fishing. We can see fish behind us here starting to rise, so I'm getting eager to get out there and get into them.
Well, I've just got to control you a bit because you're a big, long saltwater caster and you want to go 3/4 of a mile across the river.
I'll behave myself today.
You just fish a little bit more controlled
Okay.
because these fish look at you very critically, not you, but they look at your presentation very quickly. And the longer you cast, the more you're likely to get the presentation collapse. Then they're wary and they're very hard to catch when they're wary.
Okay. You should
It's
be
just
throwing rose petals
a
at them,
little
mate,
bit.
not rocks.
No, that won't catch him. Look, there's a fish over there, just jumped at one, so we've got to get set up and try and catch one of them.
Let's go.
Okay. I might just duck up and see how Paul's going up there. It's very hard to get from there into the air and back up there because you're going from that angle to that angle. So you've got to get it out of the water. Even if you just plop it over there to get a bit more, then you can plop it round again and then you pick up and start doing your casting because you've got to adjust from one area to another.
It's quite amazing watching Dave cast. He's like a little fly fishing ninja. While Scott and I keep going with the flies we've got, Dave decides to try a different tactic by changing flies. Maybe it'll just get him the first fish of the day.
Do the trick. big one. Healthy young rainbow trout. Pretty common in this river. They've all had a very good winter season, so they're in terrific fat nick, if you like. And I'll put on half a pound over the next couple of months. And that'll be a very nice fish for someone to catch another day. Yeah, see, if he's not fully recovered yet, he just needs a little bit more time to recover. Okay, there you go. He's coming back, he likes me that much. Oh, well, I missed that. Go that way.
Another bad one. Another bad one.
You're casting really well and you're getting a good distance and a good long drift. That's literally all you can do until it gets over a fish that's interested in your fly. Yes! Good smash!
There you go, a lot of casts and a beautiful little brown trout. Now Dave and that practice catch and release here, so I'm going to get this guy back into the water. When we return, Paul shows us a different way of cooking trout. Fantastic morning walk in the riverbank. Paul just lost an absolute ripper. Dave and myself have both got a nice little trout, but I'm going to light the fire now and get started for lunch. While I keep the fire going, Paul starts preparing all the ingredients.
For this dish, I'm going to use the heat in the fire embers to cook our vegetables. I quarter up some asparagus and wrap it up in foil with some finely chopped garlic and butter. I also wrap up some potatoes which I've parboiled earlier, along with some corn on the cob. For the salad, I peel and segment an orange and a ruby red grapefruit, being careful to remove all the pith. I finely slice some onion and then grate and shave some parmesan. Now it's time to prepare our trout. Now all the fish that we caught today, we've released. Now I've got a couple of fish here from the local trout farm down the road. I'm going to cook these today. So Scott, can you take the fillets off for me?
Sure can.
That'd be fantastic, mate.
Yep, I'll look after them.
So while Scott's filleting the fish, I'm going to make a nice English spinach and almond pesto. What we've got in my pestle and mortar here is some almonds and some garlic. I'm going to crush these guys up. Now I'll put the almonds and the garlic in first, so it doesn't bruise the spinach. We want to keep that spinach nice and green. You can basically use any nuts that you want to. You can put macadamia nuts in there if you want, pistachios. Today I'm going to use almonds because almonds traditionally are always served with trout. So I just thought, well, we'll do a little bit of a spin on that. I add in a splash of oil to help lubricate the mixture and continue pounding. Then I add some Parmesan cheese and finally some torn up spinach. I continue pounding all the ingredients until I get a nice green paste. Then to finish it off, I add in a good squeeze of lemon. Look at the beautiful colour. It's going to be great in our trout. I wonder how he's going with them fillets. How you going with them fillets, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, he's here. You're here already? Yeah. Lovely, they look wonderful. Well, Scott, I've got a great little dish that we're going to do with these. You've been wondering about the boards for ages. Yep. I've sort of kept it away from you a little bit. Yep. Okay, what we're going to do is if you can grab me one of the boards from across the way there.
Watch, they're slippery.
Oh, they're all right.
I've lost the fillets 3 times on.
Oh, have you? Okay, so what we're going to do, whack one of these on here, like so. Okay. All right, and you're going to nail it right there.
Okay, fine.
That's it. This is a Scandinavian dish. Now they do this with Atlantic salmon. So I thought to myself, why not try it with our trout? I think it'll work really well. We're going to actually prop them up against the fire, and we're going to actually cook them. I get Scott to nail the remaining fillets to the planks, and I carefully remove all the pin bones. I rub a little bit of oil on the fillets, give them a sprinkle of salt and pepper, and set the planks up next to the fire. All right, I reckon it's basically going to take around about 10 to 15 minutes. You get a bit of smoky flavour from the fire. It gently cooks the protein in the fish. And what I've got to do now is make a quick salad to go with them. In my bowl of rocket leaves, I add the red grapefruit and orange segments, onion, parmesan cheese, a little bit of olive oil, and just a touch of red wine vinegar. Okay, I'm going to leave that now to permeate, get all them flavours in there. I'm not going to start tossing it around. What will happen is it'll bruise, so we're going to toss it last minute and pop it on our boards with our trout. While the trout is gently cooking, I throw the corn onto the fire coals. Wait for them to cook for a few minutes, then Scott throws in the parboiled potatoes.
Yeah, well, it's important with the fire to get a good base of coals.
Yeah.
And then you just slowly add sticks just to keep your heat there. Add heat as you need it, yeah.
It's working well, mate.
Anyway,
We're a team. We're a team, lad. We're a team.
I'm going to shoot off and have a fish with Dave. I'm going to leave you with it.
Okay. All right. No worries. How come I always get stuck with the cooking? I'll be fishing. Clearly lacking the same passion for our team, Scott leaves me to finish off the rest of the dish. I add a few more sticks to the fire, throw in the asparagus, and soon enough, it's time to plate up.
Look at this.
What? What a presentation.
You like that?
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Fantastic.
Pull yourselves up a stump. Trout, good.
Oh, beautiful. A bit fancy for down the river, but
Bit fancy. It's just a piece of, it's a bit of trout nailed to a board, mate.
it's terrific. It's beautiful.
Nice, you like that? Fresh, enough.
Yeah.
We've had an amazing few days on the Goulburn River, and honestly, if you want the full fly fishing experience, there's no better place than the Goulburn Valley Fly Fishing Centre. Whilst we can't claim to be pro fly fishermen yet, Dave has helped us come a long way.
Come on, harden up. What's this, the Hook and The Ccok?
Oh, well, what are we going to do? We should go fishing, I think.
Yeah, you reckon so?
I reckon, yeah. Come on, let's go inside.
Looking forward to it, mate. Scott, you meant to say something. What are you doing?
Now, if you fell out, you'd be the first person in the history of Goulburn Valley fly fishing to have fallen out. So it wouldn't be a good look on YouTube. Not a good look at all.
It's always the first.
Okay.
Whoa! Close.